Hey everyone, what is going on? This is Sam Cressel back again with another video. And okay, so first off, I'm so sorry for leaving it too late and not making another video in such a long while. I try to find the right time and I try to think of a certain subject to talk about, and I also wanted to pick up on where I left off with the last video, and also I'm going to be quite real here, but this is actually going to be the last video that I'm going to be doing for a while because I'm actually going to be going away the next day. So I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible and try and get as many things off my chest because I want to talk about what I was going to set up in the last video. Just so we're all on the same page so I can talk about it. So, in my last video, I previously talked about my positive thoughts on Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. As like many people before then, I actually wasn't keen on the casting choice at first because we all thought it was like a stunt move to get the MCU back on track again. Because we all know the MCU films so far weren't good so far. But since thinking about it, this is actually a version of Dr. Doom from the multiverse, so there could be a way that this could work in a certain way. But like many people, I also wasn't keen on seeing Robert Downey Jr. playing a villain in a film unless it's a comical villain like Captain Hook, because I always thought of that for a long time. Because I always envisioned Robert Downey Jr. playing Captain Hook in a Disney Peter Pan film before Jude Law played him instead in that film, which I haven't seen, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully he'll be good in the role. So the main subject I wanted to talk about for today's video is something that I teased at the end of my last video regarding the original villain that they were setting up as the big bad of the multiverse saga, Kang the Conqueror, played by Jonathan Majors. Because while I haven't seen Loki season 1 or 2, I did see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and although I know that film isn't good, despite the bad buzz I heard about it, I actually was looking forward to seeing him as the next big villain in the next Avengers film, before, you know, they fired the actor who played him because he was accused of attacking his girlfriend, and so they decided to replace him with Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom and that. But the more I thought about it, it did make me think back to each previous Avengers film, which had each villain have a certain payoff, which with their own setups. Loki, for instance, was the main villain of the first Thor film and the first Avengers film, while Ultron had his own self-contained story in Avengers 2. And Thanos, after a slew of cameos in other films, made his long-awaited appearance in Avengers Infinity War before his story concluded in Avengers Endgame. And then the stage was set for Kang to be the villain in the next Avengers film, the Kang Dynasty. However, since seeing Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I was hearing that there was a lot of criticism about the character, like he didn't exactly have a clear motivation, unlike Thanos, who just wanted to wipe out half of all life in the universe, whereas Kang just wanted to conquer everything. But it's been such a long time since I've seen this film, so I didn't really care at that point, because since seeing those two post-credit scenes, I was still looking forward to seeing more of Kang when the Kang Dynasty was still announced. But ever since the whole controversy with Jonathan Majors happened, Marvel decided not to recast Kang, but rather replace him. And that's how we got Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom for both Avengers 5, which is now called Avengers Doomsday, and Avengers Secret Wars. And my thoughts on this conclusion are, while I do think it sounds like a noble attempt, it does seem like they're repeating themselves with like what they've done with Thanos. Because they're now making Dr. Doom the main villain for both films. Like, it's another Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. Why still not have the villain that you were originally building up and then have Dr. Doom afterwards? Because I still think they should have finished off with Kang first before Dr. Doom, like I've already mentioned in the other videos. In fact, there was this video I checked out a couple of months ago where someone made their own pre-write on Avengers the Kang Dynasty, and this guy's called Hero Ally, and I actually thought it could look quite decent. this whole direction. It's actually up on YouTube. It's in link description below if you want to check it out. And like I mentioned in my other video before, I sent a couple of letters to Joe and Anthony Russo, the directors of Avengers Doomsday, and sent it to their company in LA in hopes of changing the direction of the film and changing it back to Avengers the Kang Dynasty. And if you don't believe me, I actually had this letter that came through just a couple of weeks ago about the letter, and it turns out they sent it right back. So, looks like that attempt failed. But at least it was worth a shot though. So the conclusion I want to come to my video is that I want to look forward to Avengers Doomsday. I actually want to feel excited for it. It's just that whatever thoughts I had on my mind since making these videos about it, I know it just got me concerned to a point where it wasn't how I expected it to be, and I know a lot of people were probably feeling the same as well. And I don't want to keep dedicating my channel to keep making videos about Marvel all the time, but this was just a certain subject that I want to get off my chest. Because in sending the letter would actually change it all, and hopefully would make it good on what they were originally building up with before. Because again, even though I haven't seen season 1 and 2 of Loki, I did actually hear that season 2 put an end to the whole thing with Kang, which is why I heard they're not continuing with Kang anymore. But I just still thought they would at least do at least one more film with Kang, like at least use him one more time before they get on to Doctor Doom and such. Again, which is why the Fantastic Four are now coming into the MCU, because of a new film that's coming out this year. So that's it for today's video. I'm sorry if this went on a bit too long. Like I said, I was going to keep this a bit short, but I wanted to get out as much as possible. And yeah, so hopefully I'll be back sometime after the holiday, and yeah, and I'll be sure to keep you updated and see you guys again next time after that. Okay, see you all guys later. Ta-ta.